Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. We got a great show lined up. Got a video, got a special guest here. But first, let's get our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin Road and Highway 77. It's going to be not quite as hot as it has been this weekend, folks. Last week was one of the hottest weeks of the year. That high pressure just kept that all that humid air down, and we all know, we all suffered through it, and I know the animals and everybody. Glad it's going to be a little cooler. It's only going to be a high of 91 today. So, but the water temperature, we're talking about the water temperature, it's going back up to 84 degrees. Went up to from 81 to 84 the last couple of days over the weekend. Low of 74, so a little bit cooler tonight. Normally this past week it's been low about 79 and 80, so a little bit cooler at night, so that's going to help out. Our tides, let's see, our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. We're in those neap tides. You're looking on the screen there. We have a high tide at 10:01 a.m. and a low tide at 6:43. Not a lot of tidal flow, but we'll have some wind this week, and we'll talk about that in a second. But first, let's go back to our moon phases. Our moon phases, we're wrapping up August. We're down to August the 25th, and we have a new moon today, and getting ready to start building a waxing moon coming up this week. And this weekend will be a good about a quarter of a moon. So it's we're at a new moon now. A lot of things happen then. That's why we have a neap tide right now. Okay, let's go ahead and take our break. And the marine forecast, we're looking at an east-northeast at about 11 miles per hour. So it'll be a little bit breezy and won't be, like I say, quite as hot on the water. Let's take this break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Glad you're with us on Monday morning. Hope you have a great day at work and a great week at work or whatever you're doing this week. But first, let's get into our video. This is a video recently went out to Legendary Marine, and Whitney went with me, and we had just a great time. Mark Coward and Michael Coward did a clinic on red fishing and had a great turnout. We had folks driving down from Dothan that heard about it on the show, and we had folks coming over from Ebro and a lot of local folks. It was great to see y'all, first of all, but then hearing Mark and Michael talk about red fishing here locally in West Bay and East Bay is really good. So Whitney went with me, and we always have a great time, and she put together the video, edited it, so this is all her video. So let's roll this video of this red fishing clinic.
Again, I just want to say thank you for coming. We're going to get started in about 5 minutes. And one last thing, eat all you want. That means that's the less leftovers I'll have to eat next week. So go back and get seconds and thirds. And just in case you didn't know it, every boat we have out there is for sale. So we're going to get started in about 5 minutes, guys, but thank y'all so much. And we want to thank Mark Coward for being here.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Mike, this is this right here. He's the one that catches a fish. I just get him in the net.
So enjoy, guys. Thank you very much.
My name's Rick Barron. I met Winston down at Blue Water. My little girl was with me. She's 7. She'll be 8 next month in September. And between watching your show and watching Whitney's show, she's finally interested in fishing.
So we did that show using a dadgum pole at Howard Creek, and you said you made her watch that.
Yep. And we stopped and bought one.
Yeah.
And she's used it a couple times. She loves it. I got the short 8-footer, so she can handle it a little better. And she goes fishing with me, brim fishing now.
So cast and call was an inspiration to her also.
Yep.
Well,
yep, sure was.
What about in parking lot after we talked, after I started in the parking lot, y'all drove off? What did she say?
She said, "Daddy, he's real." I said, "Of course he's real."
Only a 7-year-old can say something like that.
She thought because you was on TV, you didn't live around here. Yeah. I said, "No, he's." I told her Whitney, she's local too. She's from around here, so she's real excited about it. We're going fishing Friday, as a matter of fact. She's real excited about it.
That's great.
So,
that's great.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
We use knots. Everybody has their own favorites. Some people want to tie uni knots. Some people tie these bimini twist things and all that kind of stuff. And very early on, I learned to tie a surgeon knot. Y'all heard of surgeon knot? Surgeon knot's the fastest knot that you can tie to connect a main line to a leader. As long as you're using something that's similar size, if you're using 20-pound Power Pro and a 20-pound fluorocarbon leader, piece of cake. The difference is on this diagram, it shows, if y'all take a look at this, y'all got this, right? If you look at this diagram, it shows that it wraps it twice. That's for mono. If you're using Power Pro to mono or Power Pro to fluorocarbon or any braid to fluorocarbon, you need to wrap it 3 times. Now, we'll demonstrate that. It doesn't do any good for y'all to really watch that back there. So what we're going to do is anybody who wants to see that knot tied, when we're finished, y'all just come up and we'll just give us 3 or 4 minutes. You'll be a master at tying that knot. It is idiot proof. Next knot we use, depending on what you're fishing with and what you're fishing for, you'll either tie on with a direct knot like an improved clinch knot or polymer knot, or a loop knot. For example, if you're throwing a topwater bait, you don't want to tie directly onto the bait. You want to use a loop knot. Some people still use like little tiny stainless snaps. I did it when I first started. I didn't know any better. I had no clue how bad it affected the bait's action. That little bit of weight on front really threw it off. So the loop knot is the absolute simplest thing to tie. It's way easier. If you can tie an overhand knot, you can tie a loop knot in blindfold. You have to know the light conditions and the light conditions that you're fishing in and how it affects the fish and it affects your bait. Okay? The next element of it, with the bait you're using with your equipment, you have to know what the water temp is. And that's really more of a variable based on the time of the year. But at the same time, what happens is a lot of the time, people are fishing the wrong baits in the wrong place at the wrong time of the year. If they went 6 months the other direction, they'd be perfect. And we're going to go through that just briefly in just a second. I'll kind of share all this with y'all. The next thing is on the baits. Understand the water. Now, all last summer, everybody was dealing with water that looked like iced tea. Anybody remember that? It was terrible. So you were forced to throw anything that was flashy, anything that was noisy. For example, we're going to throw a Top Pup or maybe a Top Dog Junior. Really choppy, windy water. If you're hell-bent on fishing top water when the water's almost white capping, you don't need to throw this. They can't find it. You'll see them flash at something. You'll see them strike at something and they miss it. It may be they don't want the top water. Or it may be that they're losing it in the silhouette against the sky. Dirty water, rough water. Calmer water, clear water.
All right, welcome back. And welcome Dr. Glenda Walters, or Glenda Walters.
Hi there.
I've known Glenda for a long time. She used to teach at Mosley, and she's president of the Historical Society of Bay County. I've asked her to come on the show, and it's so good. First of all, thank you for getting up this early.
Sure.
But you told me you're used to keeping the grandkids and all pretty early.
I get up pretty early.
Okay. Glenda and I, like I say, she has a love and passion for history, and we've known each other such a long time. And you retired a little while back from Mosley, and you taught. Where else have you taught?
Oh, I did some adjunct teaching at Gulf Coast and some back at FSU right after I retired.
Yeah.
So.
And you got your doctoral degree and all. And
That's in history, yes, yes.
Now, and she had a grown son and grown daughter now, and of course
Two daughters.
Two daughters.
Two
I
daughters.
coached, and that's right. I've coached and taught them many years ago.
That's right.
So we go way back, and your husband retired from the Navy lab,
right,
as an engineer and all. So anyway, we're here to talk about the museum that's coming up that we're working on and all. And Glenda's one of the driving forces behind it in the Historical Society. So first of all, the longtime members of the Historical Society, and we talk about this too. I talk about it in my class, about our heritage and our history here locally, how important it is. And I've mentioned so many times in the years past during the show, I said, look over here, Destin has a museum, and Apalachicola has a museum, and Neck Springs and Gulf County. Everybody has museums.
That's right.
Except for Bay County. And now we're going to have one. I'm just excited about it.
Well, I'm excited about it too. I agree with you. When Carabel and Vernon can have a museum, I certainly think Panama City, Bay County can pull it off.
Those folks are all proud of their heritage, and they put something together, and we're doing it too. And so much of our history, like we said, goes back to the maritime and nautical part.
This is true.
In fact, we'll look at a logo. This is a logo of the Historical Society, and tell us about this.
Well, this is, in a way, a tribute to our very earlier industries. We had naval stores and fishing. That was the basis of our development, and this logo was done for us several years ago by Barbara Mulligan, and we use it with pride to show our heritage.
And you know, we'll talk about that, and Barbara is such a wonderful person and such a great artist. And,
That's right.
And to have her, you know, someone like her do the logo was special.
Well, she did our logo for the centennial also, and then the year of the centennial, 09, for Panama City is when we really got the push to begin our efforts to create a fund that would help us set up this museum.
Now, you and I have something else in common. Not only did I do a book, but you also done a book. Tell us about your book.
Well, I did a pictorial history, first of Lynn Haven, right after I retired, and then for the centennial, I did a pictorial history for, it's through Arcadia Press, Images of America series. Did the Panama City one as well. That was a lot of fun because that brought back the photographs just really make you aware of the heritage and what we've got.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the museum and what our viewers can do. Of course, first of all, we always need money to do anything.
Well, that's the truth.
So,
that's the truth.
Let's go and get that out of the way. If people want to donate and all, how can they do that?
Well, the first thing that we're blessed with is that we have had someone step forward and we have a building. The building needed air conditioning, and so we launched a campaign on the Fundly site, a website, to try to raise funds to help pay for the air conditioning. The air conditioning is in now, and the bills are due. And so we've got that campaign going online for about 10 more days. Of course, people can go to our website, bayhistory.org. They can find the link that will go to that website, or to the Fundly page. If they like to send checks the old-fashioned way, our mailbox address is right there at bayhistory.org. You'll find the address and everything. So we'll take funds either way, and those will take care of the basics of setting it up. We've got to have an office. We need a copier. We'll need to pay air conditioning bills. The normal things.
And nothing is free and all, but let's talk about location, because people are already asking me what the location is, and I've sort of put it on Google Earth, and if you look on the left of the screen there, that's the old train depot. Tell us about the location.
Well, we connects from Beach Drive up to Harrison Avenue. It's 6th Street. The address is 223 West 6th Street, and if you're on Harrison, you're going to turn to the, if you're on Harrison, headed down towards the marina, you're going to turn right. Right there at those entries to Panama City, where it says downtown Panama City.
In the top left corner, on top left corner there was the old train depot.
That's right.
That's where it was located.
Down at the other end of, you might say, the other end of the strip where we are. We're about midway of that, of 6th Street.
And it's going to be easy to get to also, coming down Beach Drive.
Yes, I think so. I think so. The building was put there about 1945, 46. It was the Hood Motor Company.
Okay.
It was a car dealership. And so we have lots of space without walls to worry about.
But we're not going to have any used car sales.
No, we're not going to have any cars for sale. We're trying to put all of our things in the building first. We've had things stored for years in various sites around the county, people's garage, attic, sheds, and we're getting it all together. And that's been our efforts for the last 3 or 4 weeks, is bringing things together to see what we have, what we can work up, what kind of exhibits we can create.
That's cool. Now, you know, the first thing I thought of when I heard we were finally going to get one, the first thing I thought of was elementary school kids being able to go see it.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
And you know, that is that was special to me. That's the first thing I thought about. And you know, right now this generation, we have a couple of generations of elementary school kids who know nothing about our history. And you know that being
That's true.
I know
That's
from
true.
my class when my students come up, I'll ask them a couple of basic questions about just basic local history. They have no clue.
They do not.
And they really should.
Well, you need a sense of place. You need to know where you were brought up and what's the story of the town you lived in when you were a kid.
Exactly.
That's the kind of stuff people need to know. That comes back to them. You and I know as you get older, that's the sort of thing you reminisce about.
Yeah, exactly. All right, look, we got some more pictures. We're going to take a break and then come right back with Glenda Walters. Okay, welcome back. Today we're Dr. Glenda Walters of the Historical Society of Bay County, and it's a wonderful organization. I've been to a lot of the meetings there, and the programs have some really neat stuff over the years. And anybody can join, right?
Oh, yes,
So,
yes. And even if you don't belong and you see a notice in the newspaper of a program you're interested in, we want people to show up.
That's right.
We want them to come and hear it.
Let's check this out. I don't mean to leave out a fishing game because I know some of y'all are fishing today because it's Monday. Our times we're looking at, brought to us by Mark Coward. Hope you enjoyed that video with Mark and Michael. 12:24 to 2:24 at 2-hour block, and then from 12:45 to 2:46 this afternoon. Those 2-hour blocks. Right after lunch would be good if it's not too hot. Okay, Brandon, we're talking about a different. We got another picture. You're talking about people bringing stuff and donating stuff.
Well, mostly we're trying to get our things together first, and here is one of the items that we've had in storage. This is the typical buggy that was used around this area in the early days. This one was acquired through some people a few years ago, several years ago in St. Andrew. It was, we refer to it as our little doctor buggy.
That's cool. And I'm sure folks out there have a lot of stuff and all that might be appropriate for the museum and all.
Well, we're, as I said, we have already quite a collection, and we're trying to get that organized first.
And everything. So we don't have any idea about when it's opening. We're just in the process of.
We are in the process of trying to set it up. I think that we probably will have an open house type of an opening when we get it squared away. Maybe by the first of the year, maybe by Christmas time, and then we'll proceed on specific type of exhibits.
Yeah.
We'd love to see, as I said, fishing. We'd love to see. We know that there are several interests around here that people will respond to.
Well, the old turpentining and
right.
So much. And you're an expert in history because it's been your lifelong pursuit, and I love it too, and I have a passion for it. But you and I both know history disappears if we don't save it.
That's right.
And if we don't have, and right now we still have a window of opportunity to still get a lot of good information, and we've got to take advantage of it.
It's out there. We've got collections of photographs that are at the library that we've worked on for years with the Bay County Library. We have the old newspapers. Those are available at the library on things. But the actual items, with the local history room at the library has run out of space. Totally, it's totally full.
Yeah.
And so.
And that's some cool stuff down there.
Oh yes, there is. There is.
Coca-Cola bottles and all kind of stuff. Well, when you getting some help too, Rebecca Saunders.
Yes, Rebecca's very much into. We have a very active board. We have Marlene Womack on our board, Robert Hurst on our board, Lynn Moore on our board. So we have some great folks behind us.
That's some pretty good expertise too.
Yes, it is.
They know.
It is. They know it.
I know a lot of y'all read Marlene's articles and all.
Right.
It's a wonderful job. But getting back to, we need some money just for monthly expenses.
That's right.
So please feel free to donate like the old-fashioned way. You send it to by
That's
mail.
right. We can take a check through the mail. We can take it through our Fundly page. Just go to bayhistory.org and tells a lot. Also tells there what our programs this fall will be. We've got some good programs coming up.
Yeah, and now where do y'all still have your monthly
We're
meeting?
going to have our monthly meetings, continue to have those in the community room at the library on 11th Street.
Yeah.
That's where the audio-visual type of equipment, the technology is in that room.
Yeah.
And many of our speakers require something to hook up to their laptop or use films. And so we will continue to have our meetings there.
And those are some good meetings. I know not too long ago, Patrick Smith's son came in and talked
Yes,
about land.
yes.
You know,
Rick Smith did
what
a
a
wonderful program.
Wasn't that special? And,
Yes, it
And I
was.
saw where Patrick Smith has passed away.
Yes,
and
since
what
then he did in
What
January.
a legacy he left in his
Yes.
book.
Yes, he did.
If you haven't read A Land Remembered, then
You've missed something.
It is something. So, and we have our own little up here in Northwest Florida and Florida Panhandle. We have our own special heritage.
That's true.
We do.
We do not have the same history that the other coast does.
Yeah, and,
we don't.
Yeah, and I always get excited. I used to go to meetings a lot. Then I got busy doing this show and everything. I haven't been to the meetings lately, but I'm going to retire pretty soon. You know? And
I hear that.
And I'm going to get back to going to this and all. But I know all the folks down there have been. You know, we worked with them, and they were so helpful in my doing my book.
True. Well, yes.
Rebecca was really
yes.
helpful.
Well, anybody doing research, that's the place to go.
And you know, and you found this out too. There's so much information in those old newspapers.
Oh, they're fun. They're fun. I love the language.
The articles they wrote.
Love the language.
It was amazing, and that's open to
Yeah.
anybody. If you want to go down there to the library and just crank through those microfilm,
That's right.
and just read what happened in 1921 or something, you'd be surprised. And they were just open and honest about it. They didn't try to. They were not politically correct sometimes.
Oh, very, very much so. Very blunt.
Yeah. And,
Yes.
And they would put the names. I don't care if you're the sheriff or the county commissioner or all. After I went down, they just started laughing when I was reading them.
That's true.
So well, anyway, we got to wrap things up. I want to thank you for getting up this early.
Well, I enjoyed it.
And so you're going to go back and keep your grandkids, or?
Well, it's time to get off to school, you know.
All right, this is the Historical Society of Bay County. Got a brand new museum putting together, and it's going to be special. It's a heritage that we can pass down to future generations. So let's all chip in and help out any way you can. You can take any kind of help, can't you?
Sure.
Okay. All
There's
right.
painting and dusting to be done.
Yeah, and I'll keep y'all posted if they have a painting party or something.
Good.
We'll go and paint. All right, thank you all as always for watching Panhandle Outdoors. It's America's only daily outdoor TV show, only because of you and our sponsors. Thank you. You have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.